Hope you guys are having a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Today's video, I want to talk about how to break a 16-minute 5-kilometer race. I mean, this is coming out to 5 minutes and 8 seconds or 3 minutes and 11 seconds for the 5-kilometer event. And you definitely have to work on your anaerobic improvement in terms of running a 5K at this particular pace. It's very competitive. It's a very competitive time where you have to be able to train your body's lactate tolerance capability and its ability to clear lactic acid faster than it's building up. And the only way you're really going to be able to get to a sub 16 minute 5-kilometer race is training well below 5-minute mile pace. Again, it's 5 minutes and 8 seconds you got to hold per mile for 3 miles, 3.1 miles, or 3 minutes and 11 seconds per kilometer for those 5 kilometers. So again, very, very competitive time. I didn't break the 16-minute barrier until my senior year in high school. I ran a 15:53 5-kilometer race on the road. And even to this day, my best 5-kilometer race was a 5,000 meter race that I ran in college in 15:19. So as a 2:19 marathoner, I found my strength was more in the longer races. But for you, if you want to get under 16 minutes, yes, you're going to have to commit. You're not going to be, you can't run a time that fast, whether you're in high school or, even as an advanced runner. Anything under the 16-minute 5K time is very, very competitive. You have to ask a lot more out of yourself. You're going to have to be doing quality long runs. Again, I stress this in the 5K training programs that I have on RunDreamAchieve.com, all the way up to the marathon running courses. The same philosophy goes whether you're a 5K specialist or a marathon athlete. You've got to be able to spend a longer period of time training at your anaerobic threshold, and that is really key, especially in the 5K race, because it's such an anaerobic event. The shorter the race, the more anaerobic it's going to be. So you have to still do those easy runs, still get out and do those long runs. It's still very important to run easy and relaxed on your recovery days, because you definitely want to be able to recover from those hard anaerobic workouts that you're doing. To get to a point where you can run 3.1 miles or 5 kilometers at 5:08 mile pace or 3:11 per K pace, you're going to have to believe in progression. Don't be in a hurry, because a sub 16 minute 5K race time is extremely competitive. So to become a sub 16 minute 5K specialist, it does take patience on your part, because you're not going to be able to run this fast, in a matter of weeks. It's more than likely going to take you a few months or possibly even a few years to be able to break this time. And I don't say that to discourage you, but depending on your athletic capability and your physiological makeup, if you're extremely talented, a sub 16 minute 5K may not be as difficult as it's going to be for somebody that doesn't have a lot of talent but has a huge work ethic. So in that case, for me personally, that was where I was at. I was an athlete that didn't have a ton of talent. I had a little bit. I ran 15:53 for 5K in high school as a senior, 4:25 mile, 9:46 for a 2 mile, and 2 flat for the 800 meters. I was always working on speed, and I still do it all, even up until the point where I retired from the sport in 2018. If you're trying to break a 16-minute 5K, continue to follow the fundamentals. Get on the track, get to a point where you can do 6 times 1 mile at around 5:20 per rep, or be able to do about 10 Ks on the track at around 3:20 to 3:25 per rep with minimal rest, around 2 to 3 minutes recovery. This is when you get really fit. A lot of the 5K all the way up to the marathon training schedules that I have on RunDreamAchieve.com, I really focus on progression. We don't just rush into the training to get athletes to these types of times. I do have a sub 16 minute 5K training program. If you click on training programs on RunDreamAchieve.com, you can learn more information about that. But I really focus a lot of my attention on training athletes to work smarter, to start using leverage to get better results by working smarter, and using heart rate monitor training. If you haven't yet done that, I highly recommend start focusing on training at your heart rate. Focus more on your heart rate, and as you get fitter, your pace per kilometer, your pace per mile is going to get faster, and your heart's not going to have to work as hard. So you have to be very driven, very focused to be able to break a sub 16 minute 5K. You do have to have a little bit of talent. And if you don't have a lot of talent, don't get discouraged and think you can't do it, because you can. If I can do it, you can do it. It's all a matter of how immersed you are in your sport and how badly you want to succeed. It doesn't matter if you're an athlete or you're in business or whatever it is. If you're trying to lose weight, you've got to have that commitment. You can't just be lukewarm. You can't just have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. With me, I lived like a monk from 1992 up until around 2017. All I did was run. Of course, I had other things in my life. I still enjoyed, traveling and doing other things, going to school. But I was 100% committed. So for you to break a sub 16 minute 5K, you've got to be more than just interested. You can still have fun, but I highly stress, depending on what your goals are in this sport, if you're committed, if you're white hot, razor sharp, ready and focused, you will achieve regardless of what it is you want out of this sport. I just want to give you an idea of what a 15:59 5K is equivalent to. It's equivalent to 25:43 for 5 miles, 51:27 for 10 miles, a 107:27 for the half marathon, and 2:14 for the marathon. So if you can hold 5:08 mile pace or 3:11 per K, you can run a 2:14:53 marathon. So it's the same types of paces. If you were able to hold that same pace for a 15:59 5K, you would be able to run these types of times. These are just estimates. Even for example, my best half marathon is a 107:06. It doesn't equate to a 2:19:35 marathon that I ran. So, but in terms of you trying to, aiming to break a sub 16, continue to work on training at your anaerobic threshold where you're running at around 165 to 174 beats per minute. If you have a heart rate monitor, it's a lot easier to focus more on heart rate rather than focusing on, well, what mile splits am I hitting or what kilometer splits am I hitting? You really want to, that's why heart rate monitor training is very beneficial for athletes, whether you're in the 5K middle distance specialty or you're focusing more on longer distances like the 10K all the way up to the marathon distance. It takes your mind off of mile splits and kilometer splits, and you focus more on maintaining that heart zone, that heart training zone that's so important. Again, for you to run faster at the 5K distance, especially to break a sub 16 minute 5K, you have to continue to train the energy systems of your body, continue to train at your anaerobic threshold for longer periods of time. Believe in progression. Don't, for me personally, and all the training background that I have had in the advice that I've learned from some of the world's top distance running coaches like Dr. Joe Vigil, Jack Hazen, Lisa Rainsberger, who won the Boston Marathon in 1985. She coached me for 3 years. You have to believe in progression. You focus on one heart rate zone and one intensity for 3 weeks, and then you focus on the next higher intensity for the next 3 weeks. You allow progression. You allow yourself time to recover from and adapt to the hard anaerobic workouts you're doing. So to break a sub 16 minute 5K, you cannot be merely interested. You have to have that fire in your gut. You have to be driven. You have to be focused to be able to run this time. And again, if you don't have a lot of talent, it may take you a little bit longer to break a sub 16 minute 5K as opposed to somebody that's got a lot of talent that doesn't have to work quite as hard. But regardless, if you don't have a lot of talent or you do have a lot of talent, breaking that barrier and running 15 anything for 5K makes you a very, very competitive elite type of athlete. So that's where I think really a lot of athletes will get the biggest benefit if they invest in themselves, they find a training program that works, designed by an athlete that has done something that they wish to do. And again, I've always focused on studying what are the best athletes doing, what are the best coaches teaching, and that's what I cover on RunDreamAchieve.com. And I also talk a lot about nutrition on nutritiongeeks.com. I'll leave the links and some more resources below this video that will help you in your quest to break that sub 16 minute 5K. If you have any questions whatsoever, if you have something you'd like to add or maybe a topic you want me to cover in my next video, leave me a comment below this video. Let me know what your thoughts are, where you're currently at in the 5K, or just what in general you're aiming for. Are you looking more to run a specific time in the 5K to marathon distance? Have you had an issue with your mental training or a mental lapse in your races? Are you having issues with hydration or nutrition in your preparation? If you go to RunDreamAchieve.com, definitely sign up for my newsletter. I stay in touch with my newsletter list and subscribers here on the VO2 Max Tips YouTube channel. And I really want to get you and every other athlete, as many athletes as I can, under that sub 16 minute 5K barrier. It doesn't matter if you're more of a longer distance specialist, then let's talk about long distance races. I have a lot of resources on RunDreamAchieve.com, a little over 600 posts. I continue to create video content here on the VO2 Max Tips YouTube channel. And again, it's about working smarter to break a sub 16 minute 5K. You don't necessarily have to run high mileage, especially for the 5K distance. You want to continue to focus at training at, near, or far below your goal race pace. And in your case, you want to run 5:08 per mile for 3.1 miles or 3:11 per K for 5 kilometers. That is highly aggressive type of paces there. So you need to spend a great deal of time doing those mile repeats. Get to a point where you can do those mile repeats around 445 to 450 per rep, and those kilometer splits. If you can get those down around 255 to 3 flat per K, you're going to be very, very well prepared to be able to sustain that sub 16 minute 5K race pace. And I do have training programs on, like I said, on RunDreamAchieve.com that range in distance from 4 weeks in terms of duration, from 4 weeks to 16 weeks. So definitely check out those resources as well. Again, I wish you all the best with this sub 16 minute 5K aspiration you have. You can do it, but you have to believe in yourself, and you cannot, like I said, the faster you run in this sport, the more that you're going after in terms of efforts, the more that's going to be required out of you. You cannot, the faster you aim for, the more specific types of training you're going to need, and the more committed you're going to need to be. I was all in. I was living, like I said, I was living like a ninja, training for the years I was training from the 5K all the way to the marathon distance. And I, as somebody that started off running the mile in 5:30 at my freshman year in high school and finishing my senior year in 4:25, those types of times don't necessarily equate to a 2:19 marathon. It took me a lot of years to get to a point where I was able to break that time and run a sub 2:20 marathon. So I know what I'm talking about with this. I have a lot of background. I have around 28 years of experience in middle distance to long distance running. I highly recommend investing in yourself, learning from athletes that have done what you want to do. Check out the resources below this video. Click on go to RunDreamAchieve.com. Check out those resources, or NutritionGeeks.com if you want to really take your training and preparation to a new level and focus on your nutrition. That resource is there for you. So I'll talk to you guys in the next video. If you're brand new, click on the like button and give me a thumbs up. Share this video with as many people as you can, and we'll talk to you guys in the next one.